2020 is the year. And I want to let Deontay Wilder know, and I want to let AJ know, and AJ will probably be first, that we're going to impeach you in 2020.
Oh man, about to impeach him like Donald Trump.
I don't call it no name. I'm just telling you, we're going to impeach that title from you. You're going to get impeached in 2020, okay?
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. We're at Stacey King Cobra's Boxing Club. You're watching True School Sports.
Brendan Taylor here, True School Sports. I'm with my main man, Stacey McKinley. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I can't complain. It's great to start the year off talking to you, obviously.
Thank you. It's nice being interviewed by you.
Absolutely. So let's get into it, man. You worked the corner for the Joshua-Ruiz fight, and you played quite a role in him being able to finish the fight. Could you just describe to people like what that was like in the corner for him that night?
Well, you know, it was unfortunately that he tore his Achilles heel, which is very painful, you know. But in the second round, if you heard the audio, he was saying that he couldn't continue. So I was talking to the referee, and the referee said that he would give him to the third round, he'd give him another round, and I wanted to tape his leg. So he said, okay, I'll give you the third round. You can do it in the third, you can't do it in the second. So when I put the tape on his ankle and around his Achilles heel, he responded and he said that I feel better. The support was better, so he went out there and he fought with a lot of heart and a lot of guts, and he continued, and he showed that if he was 100%, that it may come out a different story. Because I actually thought that he would win the fight. You know, I thought he would actually win the fight, but we got injured. I knew he was only boxing at maybe 65%.
Yeah. So like you mentioned the performance, you know, Tank Davis had never been past for like 7 or 8 rounds.
I think it's 9 rounds as far as they were gone.
9 rounds, and he, even with the injury, he still showed the ability to hit, not hurt him, but like he hit him flush quite a few times throughout the course of the fight.
Yeah, he hit him with some good shots. Tank had begun to tire. I think it was a psychological thing, and this weight loss that he has, walking around at 50 pounds over the weight class, is really hurting him. I knew that he was big because everything they do, they put it on the video. So they put it on social media, and I knew his weight was up. I knew that he was late coming to the weigh-in, and then once he got there, he couldn't make weight. So now he went and took another hour off, and I said, it's going to hurt him down the stretch. And it did. If you saw in the 7th round, he began to get winded, and he knew it himself. So he started backing up. Once he started backing up, we had him. But you back him up like that, because if you fight a left-hander, if you let him use lateral movement or come forward, you got a problem. But if you can back him up, then that's the way you fight him. So once he started backing up, the momentum shifted toward Gamboa.
Yeah. Do you think like if maybe the Gamboa that showed up for the Crawford fight, if he had been anything close to that, do you think the outcome would have been different?
Yeah, oh yeah. I think it would have been a whole lot different than Crawford. Crawford was a seasoned veteran, and plus he was 2 weight classes higher.
Yeah.
I say, and this Gamboa trained very hard. Technically, physically, and mentally, he was strong. And I knew it. I had excellent sparring partners with him. Rafael Mincer, whose record is 30-1. We had, I think his name is Brandon, out of Cincinnati, who's 19-2. So we had speed, we had strength, we had power, and all different types of conditioning and training. So everything was perfect for him. And it's unfortunately that he had that injury. And you know, I had to look at the, you have to look at the overall picture. You have to look at the overall picture when something like that happened. You just can't say, well, you know, my fighter is injured, we're going to stop the fight. You know, he can't continue, we'll stop the fight. The fight is too big. It's more than just a fight in the ring. You have to understand that you have to, first of all, you got 15,000 people there. Okay, those 15,000 people come there to see a fight. All right, you got Showtime, the network, the producer, the production itself. The production itself is you got to understand how the television works. So there's a lot involved in a fight, especially a fight of that magnitude. But if you got a fighter like Gamboa, who I knew has the heart, he has the conditioning, he has the mindset, the mental strength to go in there and endure that pain, with severe pain from what I understand. People who had this injury before, they couldn't believe that he could continue into the 12th round or even go one more round. But I knew what was at stake, and I knew that his career was at stake. So he went, he got a moral victory. He had a lot of fans behind that. and I think the networks was Showtime was pleased, Mayweather Promotion was pleased, PBC was pleased, Al Heyman. You got to take all this stuff had to be taken in consideration, and it take a lot of experience to know these different things, because you just can't say, okay, the fight is over with. Now you got to upload it. Production look bad. You got the network's sponsors. They don't like it. Gamboa's career is in limbo behind it. So there's a lot you got to take in consideration, and I have to really respect the referee, because as I was talking to him during the fights, he understood. He understood exactly what I was saying. You know, they wanted to stop the fight. One time the doctor come up and I said, Gamboa's okay, not putting him in jeopardy, because I knew the type of conditioning Gamboa was in. And I knew at 65% that he could still perform.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you were kind of in a way like the star of the fight. You were able to wrap his leg when he tore his Achilles. Could you just talk about, like, when you saw his leg, what your thoughts were, and how you on the fly had to think outside the box and wrap his leg?
Well, one thing they were saying in the beginning, the first round, they were saying that something was wrong with his shoes, and they kept saying something was wrong with his shoes. And I'm looking at the shoes, and I couldn't tell whether something wrong with his shoe or whatever. I couldn't tell until he came back in the second round, and his manager Tony Gonzalez told me, he said, "Look, his ankle is hurt. His foot is hurt." So I said, well, then we have to give me some tape. We have to wrap it. Got to put it in the cast. And so the referee, I asked the referee said, I can't let you do it in the second round, but I give you the third round to get it done. So once I got it done, got it wrapped, I know that it's going to feel better. I mean, you do it in basketball, football, you have those injuries all the time. So I knew that once we put that tape on there real good and tried to make a good cast, then he would be able to perform. You know, it wasn't going to be his top performance, but he could stay in the ring because of his condition, his mindset, and his technical skill set.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, it was a really great corner job by you. I gotta say that.
Well, we all working together, and everybody agreed. His head trainer, his father, everybody. It was one of the best camps I ever been in, because working together works. And a lot of times you come in there and you have a dissension in the camp. This guy don't like this guy. We don't have that with the Gamboa camp. Everybody working together. Everybody knew what their job was, and so I think we did a fantastic job. His head coach was one of the greatest amateur coach from the Olympic teams in Cuba. So he's a well-known coach. His father took him to multiple championships. So we had a really solid team, and it's I'm very proud to work with him.
Yeah, you seem like you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his work ethics. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do all these different types of things. So you work with a guy like that, you got to appreciate all that, and you try to give him your most, and he'll appreciate what you do for him. A lot of these fighters, I knew that Tank Davis was living bad. I knew it all along. I knew that he was drinking. I know that he's hanging out. I know he had a weight problem. And all these things don't work against him. I knew that all along. I also knew that his trainer didn't have the experience going into the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th round. Yeah. It's a whole different ball game. If you notice one of those rounds, I think it was maybe the 8th or 9th round, Tank asked his corner, what should I do? What should I do next? What should I do? Which means he was confused. He was confused, and they didn't have no answer for him. No. So this is the thing that I was saying in the press conference, that this stuff was going to come about in this fight, and it did, because Tank started getting hit, and he couldn't figure out, well, I'm getting hit, and this guy's not going down. But like I told him earlier in the press conference, I told him, I said, look, you're talking about Tank Davis' power and his punching power. I said, you can, I can go through through the history of boxing. Okay, you look at George Foreman. George Foreman, one of the hardest punchers ever lived. But he fought a guy by the name of Jimmy Young, who couldn't bust a grape. I said, what Jimmy Young do? Jimmy Young beat him. What did George Foreman do after the fight? He said, I'm not going to fight anymore because I saw Jesus Christ. I said, now, yeah, you look at that. Then you look at Ernie Shavers. Ernie Shavers was one of the most fierce punchers ever been in the ring. And they say he was next to Joe Louis. He's the next Joe Louis. He's undefeated, coming up, knocking everybody out. So what happened to him, the big puncher? They put a little white boy in there who's a good friend of mine, God bless his soul, Jerry Quarry, turned him over. I said, you look at Mike Tyson, one of the most fierce punchers in the world. So we're not worried about punching power. We're not worried about punching power. I say, it's about technique and skill. I say, and everybody's talking about Wilder's right hand. That's all he got is a right hand. He doesn't have enough. So we wasn't worried about Tank Davis' punching power and ability and all this, because we know the Gamboa can handle it.
And he coped with it pretty well, I might add.
Yes.
You're obviously a big heavyweight boxing historian. So let's talk heavyweights for a second. What did you make of the Joshua-Ruiz rematch?
What I think that personally, my personal feeling, I think that Ruiz is a disgrace to the heavyweight. He's a disgrace to the heavyweight championship. He's a disgrace, and it's a shame to disgrace the things that he represented in the ring. He took that title. He took those 3 belts. He was a disgrace to Muhammad Ali. He was a disgrace to the great champions before him, George Foreman. All these guys, it was just an abomination. I think it's a shame and a disgrace to the heavyweight division and to boxing period to come in that ring with 3 belts, to come in that ring the way he did, weighed in at 280 some pounds, and by the time the fight come off, this guy's weighing 300 pounds. I predicted that he would win the fight before I found out what the weight was.
Yeah.
But when I saw him on social media, partying and drinking champagne and all that, he misrepresented the belts. And it's a shame and a disgrace what he did. Disgrace to boxing, period. He ought to be ashamed of himself, and he ought to sit down and think about what he did, because what he did was just a disgrace, total disgrace to boxing, period. You know, Muhammad Ali was turning over in his grave when he saw this. Even George Foreman said he had a good chance, but he blowing it. So it's what I think about him. He's a good fighter. If he had stuck to his game and listened to his people, he could have come back in and could have won again. But when I saw that, what he was doing, the way he was handling it, it's no excuse for him. He should be suspended for a year at least for coming in the ring like that. And another thing is, I think that the promoters, after seeing this type of thing, need to get with these fighters and say, look, you guys got to go to training camp. You got to go by these rules. You got to do what Don King did. Don King had all his fighters all the way back to Ernest Shake and all of them. They had to go to training camp so that they could perform, especially perform on the networks.
Yeah.
It's a shame you go on the network, you're getting tired, you're out of shape, and this type of thing. It's something that shouldn't be happening now. You know, we got to get a hold to that, okay? Got to get a handle on these things. It's just a shame. And you got PBC, you got Mayweather Promotion. All these guys are working hard to make our sport better, to enhance our sport. And what the fighters are doing, are going out here doing all different types of things to disgrace the sports and misrepresent the promoters and managers.
Absolutely. How do you think like this compares to like Buster Douglas when he came back and fought Holyfield after he beat Mike Tyson for the title? Does it compare at all?
Well, the thing about Buster Douglas is this. I knew that they tried to change the format of boxing. Steve Wynn tried to change the format of boxing. What he tried to do was get rid of the promoters. He said he doesn't need a promoter. All he needs is the backing of Steve Wynn. All he needs is the backing. And I saw where Buster Douglas was laying on the back of a car, and he was just relaxed, laying on the back of a car, and Steve Wynn said, look, he's so relaxed. He's this and he's that. And I knew then that he didn't know what he was talking about. I knew that this guy was not going to go in there and fight. He wasn't the same guy that fought Mike Tyson. I already knew that. When I saw that, I said, listen, this guy here ain't going to do no fighting tonight. You know, he's not going to do anything. He's nonchalant. Yeah. You know, like as if he's walking through the park. This ain't no walking through the park. You give it a fight at Van Holyfield. You got to fight, brother. So they tried to change the format of boxing, but I'm going to tell you something. It's not going to change. Boxing is not going to change, okay? And the fighters, the young fighters today, they're trying to change the format. But the bottom line is, you're still getting hit upside of the head and in the body. You're not going to change that because it's a contact sport. So if you don't go by the old rules and old format, you're not going to last long. That's why you got a guy win a championship on Monday and he loses it on Friday.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it is. And the young trainers are saying, well, I can't get them to do nothing. And they use that excuse. Well, fighters not like they used to be a long time ago. But let me explain something to you. The game is still the same inside the ring. Outside the ring, or you may not have the discipline. You may not want to go to camp. That's fine. But inside the ring, the game doesn't change because it's contact sport. You're still getting hit.
Yeah. Boxing never changes, really.
No.
In the ring.
No. Boxing never changes. You have to understand, as long as there are poor people, there's going to be boxing. Boxing is a poor man's sport. Come on, you got to turn that off, man. Boxing is a poor man's sport. So you got to work hard to try to get to the top. So it's not going to change. And I want the young trainers to know, don't let the young guys tell you this is going to change. It's not. Because it's a contact sport and they're getting hit. So it's never going to change.
Have you ever had a young fighter tell you, try to change the game on you?
Yeah, I had a lot of young fighters try to change the game on me. But I have a way of dealing with that. You don't have to argue. You don't have to argue and fight with the fighters and let them understand. All you got to do is go out there and say, okay, then you know it all. You got all the answers. Now today, you sparring with this guy over here, okay? And after he come out, this other guy's going in, all right? See, you got to keep a good sparring partner for him. See, sometimes it takes that leather in the ring. The ring got to do the talking for you a lot of times. Yeah. Once he get in there with a good sparring partner, get his head lit up, then he begin to understand and start to listening. See, that leather make you listen, brother. I'll tell you that right now. To change your mind quick.
Yeah, knock some sense into him.
Yes, sir. To change your mind quick, real quick. And to make a coward out of you, you ain't ready.
Absolutely. Well, how about the Anthony Joshua side of things? Obviously, Ruiz, you say he was a disgrace. What about the Joshua performance? Did you see anything improved about him in the fight, technically?
I saw Joshua doing a lot of moving. I saw him doing a lot of moving. I saw where he was trying to tie this guy up on the inside when Ruiz would get closer because he didn't want to trade with him. But I also saw that he was overcautious. He was overcautious. If the same Ruiz had to come in there, I think he'd have knocked him out because he was overcautious. He think he's gonna run and hold, and Ruiz was too heavy and too big to cut the ring off and put the type of pressure on him that Joshua was trying to get away from. So you couldn't pressure the guy because you had a big fat man in the ring. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So how you gonna cut the ring off? How you gonna throw all these combinations? You're too big. You're out of shape. So your condition is not there. So Ruiz beat himself is what happened.
Okay. So it's more to do with Ruiz than it did with Joshua.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough. How about the big Fury Wilder rematch coming up? What's your take on that?
Well, I always told you that I like Fury. I like Fury in the first fight. Now, the problem I'm having with Fury right now is that cut that he's sustained. Okay, I mean, is the cut gonna get open up? I mean, if the cut open up, if you get hit on it, is it gonna open, or what is it gonna do? So now you're making a 50-50 fight, so it's hard for me to call. It's very hard for me to call. As far as skill wise and technically, Fury's still a better fighter. He's still a better fighter, but the cut makes a big difference. I think it'll make a difference in the odd making too because of that. I think we're like 59 stitches or 53 stitches inside and out. It's very difficult, and it's on the brow line, so it's very difficult with that. But other than that, Fury is a superior boxer, without a doubt.
I think so as well. He fired Ben Davison, and now he's with Sugar Hill. So do you think he'll try to maybe fight Wilder differently the second time than he did the first fight?
Well, I heard that he was with Sugar Hill. I heard this and I heard that. Now, I don't think Sugar Hill gonna make a difference. I don't think he'll make a difference. In fact, I don't think it's an improvement. I think it's a bad move myself. I like Sugar Hill. I think he's a good guy, but I've never seen him work with heavyweights. Mm-hmm. I've never seen him work with heavyweights, and it's gonna be a whole different ball game because technically, there is only a few trainers that I will say today that is knowledgeable about Tyson Fury's style. Tyson Fury know more than his trainers know. I don't know whether he watched Jersey Joe Walcott films. I don't know what he watched, but the boy got some technical skills that I think he may have picked up on his own because he does a lot of different things in the ring that a lot of trainers don't understand. I was talking to my good friend the other night. I was watching Tom Joyner. We were watching Fury fight. So, you know, Tom Joyner, I got a whole boxing gym in his basement, right?
Yeah.
So I was showing him the moves that Fury makes in the ring. He said, well, let's go upstairs and watch it on television. So I was showing him the different things. He said, where did he learn that from? I said, because I was picking it out. I said, maybe he watched Jersey Joe Walcott. I said, he watched somebody because I'm sure that his trainers didn't teach him that because it's a forgotten art. You don't see the fighters doing all that. I mean, he's stutter stepping, he's shoulder rolling, he's rolling from the hooks, he's shoulder rolling from the right hand, he's rolling and going under. So a lot of these things that he does that he picked up somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, because most of the guys who do that, guys like Dale Williams, guys like Blackburn from Detroit, guys like those guys been dead a long time before Fury even blossomed in this game. So he picked it up somewhere. He picked it up a lot somewhere, but you know, it's very difficult changing trainers. I don't know if he should change trainers or not because he did so well in the first fight.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Anthony Joshua said something interesting. I don't know if you saw what he said about he wanted to spar Tyson Fury to help him get ready for Deontay Wilder. Did you hear about that?
Well, I heard about that, but there's a lot of stuff they do for publicity.
Yeah.
I don't think that Joshua really want to spar with Tyson Fury. I think if Joshua got in the ring with Tyson Fury, I think he'd get his ass beat. That's what I think. Now, technically, right now, Tyson Fury and Trevor Bryan is probably the two best heavyweights out there. Technically, from a technical standpoint, they're probably the two best out there. And if you look at Fury, for a big man, he's moving like a middleweight, and that's unusual. I mean, he's not just on top. He get low, he's in and out. He just got excellent footwork, and his presence in the ring is unbelievable.
Because of those things you mentioned, like him being able to get low and the stutter stepping and all those lost arts, do you think maybe he could have success coming forward and fighting Deontay Wilder? Well,
I don't think he should change. I think he could continue to do what he's doing. I think that he can. If you notice the fact that he only lost the fight because he got knocked down.
Yeah.
So anybody can get knocked down in the fight. So there's a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to change. You got hit and you went down. Not because you wasn't doing the right thing. Everybody gonna get hit in the fight. Now if your body can absorb the punch. If it can absorb that punch, then you wouldn't have went down. You'd have won that fight. Either the last knockdown or the first knockdown won the fight for him, caused a draw. He didn't lose the fight. Okay, a lot of people thought he won the fight. But after the fight, I said it's probably going to be because of Wilder being the champion and everything. I said this decision probably going to be a draw. So I called it. But the first time he got hit right behind the ear. And everybody knows that shot will take you out. Okay. The second time he got hit twice in a row. He got hit with the right hand, and he came back with the left hook. But he got up.
Yeah.
So what is it to change? It's nothing to change. It's nothing to change because you didn't do anything wrong. You got caught, but you couldn't absorb the shot. That's all it is. It wasn't because you were making a mistake. You got hit. You're in a 12-round fight. If it's going the distance, you're going to get hit. Now, it's up to your body if your body can absorb the shot. You didn't do anything technically wrong. You just got hit and you couldn't absorb the punch. But you got up. So he got quick recovery. He recovered. Now, you notice in the 12th round, he got up and hurt Wilder.
He did that. He did.
Yeah, he went to fight. He hurt Wilder. So, I think he fight the same fight himself.
Okay. Do you think Deontay Wilder has improved in any way since the first Fury fight?
This is what I think. I watched Wilder with Ortiz, and I saw a fighter that was very hesitant.
Okay.
Against Ortiz. If you notice, Ortiz was leading. Ortiz was putting those rounds in the bank. And why was he putting those rounds in the bank like that? And Wilder wanted to get to him, but he was hesitant. He was kind of shook up a little bit. He was a little hesitant. And so I'm wondering if have those fights had an effect on him. I don't know. Because you fighting Ortiz and everybody said, well, it only took one shot. Well, then you got to understand you're hitting a 40-year-old man. You're hitting a 40-year-old man, and and the 40-year-old man was training in Las Vegas in a high altitude. And everybody in boxing knows you don't take an old man to fight in high altitude. You don't build him up. You think you're building him up, but you're breaking him down. But you're breaking him down to high altitude, so you just can't say Wilder is better because I didn't see a better Wilder. What I saw was the guy was hesitant going, I think it was the fifth or sixth round. The guy was winning the fight. Now, I saw Ortiz get to a point to where he just lost concentration for a quick minute.
Yeah.
It's the same way with the kid out of Detroit did with Charlo.
Tony Harris.
He's winning. Tony Harris. He's winning the fight. But all at once, mentally, he hesitated. Bang. Stopped thinking. So the same thing happened with Ortiz. I don't know if he'd won, but he stopped right in front of him, and he hesitated. He was able to hit him with the right hand. Hit a guy at that age, and the way he trained, you got to go out of there. Okay. It wasn't nothing special about a Wilder's punch. It wasn't nothing special about it.
It was just Ortiz losing his concentration and whatnot.
He's the old man. Ortiz 5 years ago, Ortiz had his chance with Wilder. He had him out. That was his chance. After that, I knew he can't come back.
The first fight.
Yeah. First fight. Yeah, he couldn't come back.
Okay. Any updates on Trevor Bryan?
Right now, we're waiting for the WBA to make their ruling. Showtime is waiting. We're waiting. Our promoter Don King is waiting. Trevor Bryan is training hard. So when the verdict come down, we get ready to go to work.
Okay. You mentioned him as the the other best, technically best heavyweight in the world, along with Tyson Fury. How has he been improving in the gym, Trevor Bryan?
Well, you know, Trevor Bryan has always been in the gym. He never left boxing.
Yeah.
You know, I think for the last 2 or 3 months, I let him off for 3 weeks, but he was in the gym. But I let him off for 3 weeks, and I let him alone. Let him go to the fights, let him meet the people and this type of thing. But he's always been in the gym ever since I've been with him. Because, you know, we have a saying in Detroit that even when you don't have a fight, come to the gym at least 3 days a week. You train, you jog 2 or 3 days a week, a couple of miles. You come into the gym 2 or 3 days, hit the heavy bags, speed bags, skip a little rope, and you can leave. So you stand in the game, and you mentally stand in the game. So this is what I teach, and this is what we do.
Absolutely.
So Trevor Bryan is right there. He's strong. He's fast. He's in super condition. So we're gonna be. It's gonna be his year.
He keeps saying that. That seems to be the feeling around the gym. Like I hear him say that. I hear our Coach Mel say that earlier. He seems like he's in better spirits.
He's in good spirits. He had a chance to talk to the executives of Showtime, the executives at the WBA, and they reiterated what we've been telling him. So they know that he know that, hey, they're just waiting on the verdict from the WBA, which should come out this week or next week, and we're gonna go from there. And Trevor Bryan gonna fight anybody. We're gonna fight anybody, without a doubt.
Hopefully, I can't wait for it. You know.
I want to get to. I would love to fight Joshua. After a couple of fights, we fight Joshua or we fight Wilder. There's no doubt. Wilder, he'll knock Wilder out.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
As you were saying,
they got to go to sleep.
You said many times, you take the right hand and stick it up his ass.
That's right. Once you do that, what else he got? Everybody talking. If you go on social media, you go on all these things. The only thing they're talking about, Wilder right hand, Wilder right hand, Wilder right this, Wilder right hand this, right. Now Wilder began to think himself, my right hand, I'm going right hand crazy. We're not worried about his right hand. What about his? They got a decent left hook too. But what about his jab? What about his balance? What about his ability to counter? What about his ability to handle head movement? You got a guy that's fit and all that. These are things that he can't handle, stuff he hasn't seen. That's why Tyson Fury has such a good time with him, because he had that fint, he got that old Walcott fint, and this guy trying to figure out what's going on, and by the time he figure out what's happening, he getting hit, and the man is gone. So you got to deal with all of that. The right hand, we know about the right hand. There ain't no problem. We practice about defense against right hand all the time.
So he's ready for it, it sounds like.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Okay.
You know, the main thing is just getting him in the ring.
You know, hopefully that's soon in 2020.
2020 is going to be his year.
The year of the dream.
Without a doubt. He's strong. He's punching hard. My strength and conditioning guy, Ramon, is doing a fantastic job with him. I can't tell you all the secrets there, but he's doing a fantastic job. His mind is right. His diet is right. His weight is good right now. So all we're doing is waiting for a decision from the WBA as to which way they're going with this regular title. Once that verdict is down, we're ready to roll. You give us 6 weeks, we're ready to fight anybody.
There you have it. All right. Fair enough. Any message to the boxing world about what you got going on at the gym and just your 2020 plans, I guess?
Well, the gym is doing good. One of the things I'm very excited about is our young heavyweight, Nigel Lopez. Is going to be representing Puerto Rico, hopefully in the Olympics. He's fighting in a couple of weeks. If he win that fight in Puerto Rico, then he go to Venezuela. If he win that fight, then he's off and running to the Olympics. So we were very, very happy about him. His brother Hakeem Lopez is doing good. So I got a lot of things going. Hopefully Carlos Monroe get on back here and get ready, and everything's good.
Okay, yeah, it's a good stable of fighters you named. Carlos, I know I was at his last fight where he had that fight with a tough Argentinian who had him hurt.
Yeah, very good fight. That was his signature fight so far. A lot of people say he was overmatched because the Argentinian was good, real good, and he's a puncher. He had 23 knockouts. So, but that boy, Carlos, is a very smart boxer. He has to get. They still got a lot to learn. He has to get back. He's rated number 5 in the world. He has to get back. There's a lot of other stuff you got to teach him. So it's one step at a time. So we got a lot of good things going on.
Okay, well I'll be following it definitely for sure. Rest of the year here in 2020.
Yeah, 2020 is the year, and I want to let Deontay Wilder know, and I want to let AJ know, and AJ will probably be first, that we're going to impeach you in 2020.
Oh man, about to impeach him like Donald Trump.
I don't call it no name. I'm just telling you, you're going to impeach that title from you. You're going to get impeached in 2020, okay? All right.
Well, there you have it. Stacey McKinley letting you guys know. As always, Stacey, thank you for talking to True School Sports.
All right. Thank you.
My name is Rachel McDonough, and this is my friend. Hi, excited for the big fight, and you are watching True School Sports.